game glitched. Over to you and good luck.
Alright, thank you very much, Stump, and hello everybody, my name's SuperSonic. I am a retro speedrunner that mainly focuses on Sonic and Mario games, but today we're going to be showing off Sonic 3 and Knuckles with Solo Sonic, and it's going to be a pretty broken run once we head into Hydro City 2. But for the first 3 levels, it's not going to be as glitch heavy, so it's just going to be just strict movement and whatnot. So we'll get into that in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so as we start off, this is pretty much taking place right after Sonic 2. We were on our tornado just for a little bit and turned into SuperSonic. And all of a sudden, we just get our emeralds knocked out of us from Knuckles here. So he's going to be taking our Chaos Emeralds, but we don't really care for it because we're not going to be getting any Chaos Emeralds in this run. The first thing we're going to do is start off with a spin dash, which will be our main form of movement for a lot of things. And we're just going to head up to this top route here, grab the fire shield. And with the fire shield, it'll allow us to do an air dash. And Sonic is the only one who has these abilities with the different elemental shields. We're going to be seeing the bubble shield for a little bit, which allows him to do a bounce jump. And then the lightning shield, which will allow him to do a double jump in the air. So now we get everything burned like all around us, but we're completely fine because Sega logic. I'm just gonna use the air dash for a little bit just to kind of get through this area here. Yeah, we're gonna fight our first mini boss. Just gonna stand right underneath here, and with the fire shield's properties, will be safe from the flames underneath. And that'll be the end of Act 1. And we're just gonna grab the bubble shield right away here. So normally with this run, like while doing PB attempts and such, we time it with RTA minus TB, so which is real time attack minus time bonus. So the time bonus will be counting down, and usually when we get under a minute, we will get 50,000 points, and that counts down to roughly 6 seconds. So on our timers, we would actually pause that duration of the score countdown, and then it'll just resume right after that. And normally Sonic games will be timed in IGT, or in-game time, mainly for Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. Because those games have level transitions in between them. But in this game, there aren't any level transitions because they're pretty much connected together. The only times we will actually see level transitions is when we go from one zone to the other. For this section, I'm gonna try to get a jump up on this ledge, which we do get. That is actually a pretty hard jump to do. And now we're just gonna head on over this way. And right as we exit the tunnel here, I'm going to try to set up for a thing called cutscene skip. So at the end of this level here, there will be a cutscene to where Sonic will just be looking up, and then Knuckles will be right at the top of the ledge to push a button to break the bridge. But we're going to be skipping that, which saves about 5 seconds. So if done correctly, what I did there is I exited the tunnel, then when I'm off screen, I held right, and then I did a double jump right before the tree leaves the screen. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gonna set up a spin dash here. And let's see if we can just get this one cycle. Right, there we go. And then we use the lightning shield to get back onto the ledge for safety. And that's the end of Angel Island. Alright, so now we see here, the bridge just breaks. We're fully free to go, saving 5 seconds. Now here we are in Hydro City 1. Gonna be a lot of water, that's for sure. We're gonna be spending our time like in the water, mainly in this zone. And then once we get to Hydro City 2, that's where all the fun begins. In the meantime, go ahead and just traverse through here. Okay, just head on up this way. Gonna skip the path swapper from just getting across a little bit. Oh, I didn't mean to break there, but this should be fine. Made it up on those platforms. So usually in Sonic games, like the zones are pretty big, and usually going the top route is a faster route. There will be some instances where we won't even be doing that. So here we are at the washing machine boss here. Usually the first act boss will take 6 hits, and then the second act usually takes about 8. We're just gonna kind of put Sonic around this slope here, because right after we finish the stage and then it starts the next one, we're gonna try to see if we can get him on the right side after this cyclone section. It might be, yeah, well, slightly to the right. But now for this part, we're just gonna take an intentional death. This is actually intentional because we are unloading Act 1 from Act 2. And then we're gonna set up our first glitch. So we clip inside the ground there, and then we're technically at the end of the level. We're just waiting for the camera to catch up. And here we are at the boss fight. So the reason why I took that intentional death in the beginning is because if I didn't do that, then I would end up soft locked in the wall. You don't want that to happen, really. So just like that, we are out of Hydro City 2. But that is the beginning of the glitches, and this is where things will get pretty crazy. Yeah, I hope everybody's having a great day so far on this Sunday
I definitely
morning. Yeah, that's good. All right, so Marble Garden, this is actually my least favorite level in the run. I'm gonna try to go for a skip here. Oh, oops. Okay, ended up getting that part, so now I just gotta wait for the camera to catch up. So I'm pretty much at the loopback area, which is pretty much out of bounds. So I'm pretty much in Act 2 right now, but while still in Act 1. We're gonna try to finish the Act 2 boss while in Act 1. I can just spin dash out of this slope here. There we go. Flip through here. It's gonna be a very broken mess, but it's all intended. You just kind of go through the oil there. There's actually nothing in that oil, so just safely be able to go through here. This part's pretty difficult. All right, so we're inside the wall. I'm basically spin dashing once while facing right to move to the left, and I'm moving Sonic 16 pixels to the left, and I have to do specific spin dashes, otherwise I'll end up soft logging inside the wall. So this run is pretty dangerous in that aspect, but it's a really cool run to show off. And you can kind of see Sonic's head just peek through the ground there. This will kind of give me a better visual of when to hit the capsule. I'm just gonna pan the camera down, do a little bit of a right left to see Tails just show up out of nowhere. And it says we finished Act 1. So we didn't actually beat Act 2 because we went in the loopback area. So now it shows Marble Garden Act 2 here, but we're only gonna be here for like 3 seconds. And then moving on to Carnival Night. So there's actually a caveat to this. On the file select screen of this game, the zone counter doesn't go up until the game sees that you finished an Act 2 of a level. But since we didn't complete an Act 2, we're technically still in Marble Garden on the file select screen. So what I need to do in this aspect is I have to complete Carnival Night 2 to move the zone counter to Ice Cap. Here we are in the first boss here. We actually have a property called Wheel Glitch. The only thing I cannot do is jump out of it, otherwise I'll lose the property. So we have to fight the boss this way. Just land on the top, set up a spin dash to open the hitbox, take an intentional hit there, just so we can land back on the top. And then we're just gonna roll off of it and then just stay on top of the boss until it gets defeated. And this is actually one of the exceptions where it only takes 4 hits. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and pan the camera down. So the only exception for me to jump out of this glitch is let's see, like if I'm standing on an object. So you're gonna see the barrel pretty soon. I can actually jump out of that because it's considered an object rather than a solid ground. So I will still retain the slope glitch that way. Okay, so heading into Act 2 here. Gonna go into these launchers. There's a barrel, can jump out of it safely, and we're running on the ceiling now. This is totally normal. And now we're just gonna try to latch on to this area, do a 9-tap spin dash to flip up into the ceiling. And I'm just holding right here. And then I'm doing a spin dash. There's actually debris in the ceiling that we cannot see physically. It's because of the game's memory address that it has like some mumbled garbage up top. So there are these tiny gaps. So with Sonic spin dash, it actually reduces his hitbox so he can actually go right through them. And we pretty much skip the barrel of doom and just get rid of the boss pretty quickly. And there we go. That is the end of Carnival Night 2. So now what I'm going to do here is after the time bonus and everything else counts down, I'm going to reset the console. And that is going to be a cutscene skip. We put Q here. There we go. Both are at 0. So I do the reset skip. Go into my file select and we are in ice cap. So now the zone counter went up 1 since we completed an Act 2. Now for this level, we're going to try to skip a boss entirely, but it is pretty difficult to do, so I'm going to have some quiet time for this section. Well, this part is just a jamming section, so... Okay, so we're going to get off of this. Sometimes you can actually break those blocks on the first go, but... So this section here, I'm going to try to focus on this a little bit. I'm gonna try to set up for slope glitch here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 2, 3, roll. I'm gonna do some pause buffering to make sure this goes correctly. Okay, there's the penguin. All right, I heard a spring, so I'm gonna jump out of that. So I'm actually in Knuckles' corridor right now. I have jumped 3 times here. 2, 3. I might end up fighting the boss. Let's see. Oh no, I think we're good. All right, we can actually skip this. So now, camera's gonna catch up to Sonic here. I'm pretty much gonna be facing diagonally to the left. This is totally fine. Well, I think I might be too far high. Let's see what happens here. We're good, I think. There we go. Okay, we're in the tunnel. So once I get through a little bit of the snow here, and we're into launch base. So we skipped the boss entirely. However, this level is kind of dangerous, so what we got to do first is we got to do an escort mission on this flybot here. This flybot is going to be crucial for a strat that I'm going to try to showcase here. We need this fire shield. Going to take a damage boost. Okay, so far the birdie's being pretty nice. Let's stand right here. So now we have a spin dash set up in the elevator. I gotta pause for a specific frame here. All right, so I paused 5 times and there's like a block that I look for that is lined up to the left edge of the screen. And when I see that it's good, I can just hold right after releasing the spin dash. There is actually a 1 frame early and 1 frame late that you can still get the level wrap in. But they're pretty tight to get the jump. Okay, so now for this boss, I need to keep one of these guys alive. And I need to kill him at 1 minute flat. The reason being is I'm trying to have a smaller time bonus just so that swinging arm doesn't kill me, and this is totally fine. Like, everything's glitched out. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for a good time here, and I did it way too early. I'm gonna try that again. I was supposed to wait for it a little bit, but the backup file here. That was unfortunate. That was actually going pretty well until I did a flub there, but that's okay. At least we have our backup file that we can use for the remainder of the run. Yeah, I kind of mistimed that just a tad bit early because I was thinking the arm was gonna just pass over, but then since the ground wasn't technically solid, it kind of just had me fall through. So 2, 3, 4. All right, at least we got this again, so this is fine. I'll actually do the fight correctly. So yeah, this is technically Knuckles' boss fight. Sonic and Tails cannot come here normally, so they have to kind of glitch through to get to this area. Oh, that's not good. Let's see what happens here. Hopefully the arm won't be on the way. Dang it. All right, well, I'm gonna skip that actually. That's kind of unfortunate. I'm gonna take too much time, so we'll just go right into Mushroom Hill. What should have happened there is like I needed to kill the boss, and it technically treats it as if you beat the boss in 1 second. But I needed to be on solid ground to do so, but had some unfortunate events in there, but that's okay. We'll just keep the run going. So head into Mushroom Hill. So what I'm going to try to do here is get Sonic to clip inside the ground. So I'm doing some pause buffering just to make sure I don't get crushed. There we go. So now we're inside the ground. And then we're just gonna go into this area here. There's like these air pockets in the walls that we cannot physically see. I'm just trying to get Sonic to line up like on those, like the J's and the 7 shapes on the wall. So we're doing a level wrap here to get to the boss fight, but we're actually going to be spawning the boss a little lower than usual. Right here. Get 5 hits, and then before he goes all the way to the right, we're just going to destroy him and then line up the trees in the middle like so. And we get mushrooms show up out of nowhere. So we're technically inside a wall right now. And we're going to be using this to skip 2/3 of Act 2. So once this time bonus finishes, we're going to see Sonic just go right into the ground. And then we're just going to be jumping down 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Go to the left to reset our subpixels, and then line it up here. Hold left, and we zip into the wall there. See a package of grass on the top, and we skip like 2/3 of the level. So the way how that works is, since I spawned the boss much lower, it allowed me to defeat the boss quickly, because normally that boss will stay on top. So he's not supposed to be that low. And that pretty much gives us the opportunity to just, you know, kind of get through this level, you know, without having to play all of it. Okay, so now we have Robotnik here. Use our fire shield just to kind of get rid of him really quickly. And yeah, there we go. That is Mushroom Hill. Oops. Hitting the capsule is like the hardest strat in the game. So we're gonna do the same thing like we did in Carnival Night. Is after this bonus countdown finishes, and once we see both things hit 0, we're just gonna reset the console to do a cutscene skip. And then we're gonna head over to Flying Battery. Now, Flying Battery is actually a pretty difficult level. Not for the first part, but for the second part, when we go to Act 2. But for this first part, we're going to pan the camera down, do a spin dash and pause on the same frame. And we're going to get this glorious sprite here. This is called As Intended. It's by design, and it's also and intended. So we're just able to kind of casually walk through walls while in this goofy sprite here. And just this right here, it'll just take us straight to the boss fight. It's completely leveled with the ground. And we do need this lightning shield for Act 2. So this boss here, I don't know the actual name of it. I think it's called Gapsule, but there was a nickname given to him by our fellow Sonic speedrunner named Huds. This is called Mr. Tickles. So as you can see here, he's just hitting himself, and he's got to do that for 6 times. And then on the 6th one, we're going to be standing on the corner of the button, right about here, set up slope glitch again. And we're going to need this for Act 2. So I'm gonna try to go for the top route here. If I don't get it, I do have a backup route, and it'll just take us to the boss fight. But this top route will actually skip the laser mini boss. We can get it. If not, then that's fine. I'm not sure if that got it. Nope, it didn't. Okay, we'll have to do the backup. That one's kind of finicky because we have to jump at a specific frame to clip inside the wall, and then we have to kind of navigate through. So the backup here is we're taking the bottom route this time, and we will head over to the laser boss. I'm just going to be mashing the jump buttons just to kind of get out of it. If I lose my lightning shield, that's fine. We don't really need it anymore. See if I can catch this cycle. All right, that's good. Let's see if we can get the laser skip here. If not, then we'll just have to kind of sit through it. It's no big deal. So if I have that laser on the right side barrier, if it's like off screen, the hitbox is not loaded. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to spin dash to object phase through that. We don't have to like sit through this section, but we still have to wait for the bridge to rise up anyway. This is kind of like a small time. There we go. That's the laser skip there. We get to see some clear skies from some glitched out clouds. Totally normal in our world, right? So now we just gotta sit here and wait for the bridge to come up. Well, ideally what I wanted to do is for the top route, we just skip all of that entirely, and it'll just kind of similar to how it is in Carnival Night, where we're just like up in the ceiling and just kind of going to the right. That was like the intended strat for this, but we got the backup at least, so that's fine. Okay, so let's see if we can get this boss fight down. I'm gonna intentionally take damage to lose my rings. Okay, there we go. The reason why I just intentionally took damage is because of the score countdown, just to kind of make it a little less time. There we go. So that is Act 2 of Flying Battery. Now for this instance, we don't have to reset the console to do the cutscene skip, because this cutscene is actually fairly short. So now we're gonna head into Sandopolis, and let's see how much of it we're gonna end up playing here. There we go. So that trick there, apparently it's an 85% chance to clip inside that slope. So what I did there, I did a sub-pixel manipulation at the very beginning of the level. So I did a 2-tap spin dash to pretty much bounce off that spring looking thing. I don't even know what it's called. And then we go into the sandfall, and then we wait until Sonic is on the ground, and then we do another 2-tap spin dash. And then there's like a little bit of a visual cue that we use to do like a short jump. And then I usually do the instant shield just to kind of make sure that I clip inside. And then from there, it's like a 50-50 shot whether or not Sonic will actually do the level wrap. So the level wrap is basically called the horizontal underflow glitch. You kind of see that, you know, Sonic will just get a ton of speed, go in the negative direction, and then he'll end up at the far end of the screen, or of the level rather. And there was like another strat that I was doing in Marble Garden called the screen wrap. That is the vertical wrap. That's because it works with infinite vertical levels. Okay, we got the fire shield. That's pretty good. So for Sandopolis Act 2, that is actually a vertically infinite level, or infinitely vertical level, however you want to say it. So there's actually 2 routes for this. You can actually use the fire shield, which is what I have right now, or you can actually use a lightning shield. Either one of those will still work for the things that I'm about to do here. So first things first, I'm gonna release the ghosts, and then we're gonna do a screen wrap here to object phase through this door. So we pretty much didn't have to wait for the door to open up or anything like that. This part is gonna casually clip through the ground by having a high jump and having enough vertical momentum it'll just allow us to clip through with no problem at all. Now we're going to try to go for a thing called loop clip. And this is to skip the autoscroller section of the sand rising. So we're inside this wall here. I need to jump a few times, navigating inside the wall. I'm going to do another screen wrap here. See if I can get it beside the platform. Nope. So what I wanted to do there is I needed the platform to be rising up so I can clip right next to it. I'm just going to wait for it to just go back up so that way I can clip inside. And we skip the entire autoscroller section. Okay, so we're going to do another screen wrap, and this time we're going to be losing our fire shield because we don't really need it after this. Okay, and just kind of traverse through the level. One thing I didn't mention is you'll kind of see Sonic have like these shockwave looking things, like that white thing right there. That's called the Insta Shield. For the longest time I thought that move was completely useless for Sonic, but little did I know is that it actually increases his hitbox as well as protect him. So this is actually the most OP move in this game, and it usually helps us out for boss fights as well as you know, not having air control. Oh, whoops. And that's okay, we still got him anyway. Yeah, this is actually a very useful move, and it is like the best thing to happen in a speedrun. And now we are done with Sindopolis. Gonna head into Lava Reef, which is probably one of my favorite tracks of the game. And yeah, we're gonna be doing some more broken stuff too. Just go through here. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna line up about here, do a full jump, and that'll have Sonic in the teetering position while on that platform, and he can just pretty much go through that wall without getting damaged from the lava. So there's actually a level wrap you can do here, but it is actually pretty risky, so I'm going to do a backup strat instead. And we're going to technically take the intended route, but we're going to be skipping some chunks here and there. So I'm just going to move that platform up just by a little bit, and then just kind of go underneath it to clip inside the wall. That just skips a little bit of a, you know, around and over. So we're pretty much heading towards the boss fight here. There's actually one strat that can either make or break a run. It's called monitor clip. If I end up getting it, you don't have to play a lot of Lava Reef 2, but if I don't get it, then we'll pretty much be losing a minute, which is fine, because Lava Reef 2 is actually a pretty cool level, glitchless. Now for this boss fight, utilize our Insta Shield to get rid of these arms. And this thing comes out. 3, 4, 5. So he just kind of moves up and down 5 times, and then he'll just kind of slam to the ground. That's pretty much my cue to jump and hit him. There we go. Let's see if we can get monitor clip here. Ah, that was close. My last pause was a little early. But if I were to get monitor clip, I would be inside the ground, and then it would pretty much get rid of like 2/3 of the level, kind of similar to Mushroom Hill 2. But that's okay. We'll see the entirety of Lava Reef 2, with the exception of the boss fight here. So the boss fight for this level is a 2-minute auto-scroller of just bombs having to hit Robotnik, but we're not going to be playing that boss, because who wants to sit through that, you know? Like, who wants to sit through auto-scrollers? You want to play the game fast. Oops. That's fine if we don't have the fire shield. There we go. Just gotta watch out for those spike balls here. I will be taking an intentional hit right here, just to kind of get Sonic up on that ledge. See if I'm fast enough, I can probably get here. No, I'm just barely slow. I can actually get through that gap without getting crushed. And for this section, we are going to be grabbing the lightning shield. And then for this part, just got to be careful not to grab the big ring, otherwise that'll take us to a special stage, and we don't want that to happen. That's a time loss. All right, now we just got to traverse through it up here. Oops, just missed it. Wanted to get a lightning jump on that. But... Okay, so now in this section, we're going to go for a stair clip. And we were actually in Knuckles' area, so those blocks, only Knuckles can break it. However, by doing the spin dash technique, and spin dashing right as the camera is just trying to catch up to Sonic, you can actually object face through that and get through the stage without having to fight the boss. Alright, so now we got the Knuckles fight coming up here in Hidden Palace. I just gotta hit Knuckles 8 times. Oh no. Like in Sonic Adventure, he just yells out, oh no, whenever he gets hit. One more hit will do. Here we go. So now you can kind of see on the top left of the screen there, the IGT actually stopped, which is why we time it with RTA minus TB. It's because the IGT is very inconsistent in this game, and this is one of the reasons why. So now this is just pretty much a cutscene that we can kind of move in. This Robotnik here, he actually has 255 HP, so even if we try to hit him a bunch of times, like, we won't be able to beat him unless we just use a Game Genie code to kind of keep him in place. But I just got to do the slinkies for fun while waiting for Knuckles to do his thing. There we go. We got 3 slinkies. The run is good. And that is the end of Hidden Palace. So now we got Sky Sanctuary coming up right here. Just gonna wait because there's another cutscene happening with the Death Egg rising up from the clouds. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna let go of the spin dash right after Knuckles jumps off the launcher here. And that is to allow me to grab the vine right away. So this vine right here pretty much gets that every time. I'm gonna grab the lightning shield for this because we're gonna be skipping the intended fights here. 2 of them at least. So we went from the bottom of the level to now at the top of the level. And now we're gonna be fighting a Mecha Sonic. Mecha Sonic is pretty much RNG. Gonna hope he doesn't dash away. Okay, that's a good set right there. Okay, we actually got pretty good RNG from that. And that is the end of Sky Sanctuary. We got one more cutscene skip to do. So right after this countdown finishes. And then that'll take us to our final zone, which is Death Egg. Now, if we were playing with all emeralds, we would have one more zone to play as for Sonic, and that is called Doomsday, but we won't be seeing that extra zone in this run. So for this level, I'm gonna try to do a strat here in which it'll allow me to skip 30 seconds of the level. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, pan down the camera. I was a frame early. So what I wanted to do there is I wanted to keep the camera pan down and jump into the spikes to clip us inside the wall, and it'll do like a mini zip. I'm gonna try it one more time. If I don't get it, then I'll just play the level as intended. There we go. Okay, alright, we'll just play the level as intended, that's fine. It's a pretty tough skip to go for, but it does save a lot of time. We will see the level pretty much in its entirety here. Okay, so we'll just head up on this way. There's also another skip called Graviton Skip that saves about 7 seconds, but it is probably the riskiest strat in the game because it is pretty easy to soft lock there. Gonna skip through those. Apparently, like, those those thunderbolts that are coming out from the light beam there, it can actually damage you even if you have the lightning shield, which doesn't make any sense. But we kind of need our lightning shield just for a little bit. But normally, like if we manage to get the mini zip, we wouldn't have the lightning shield. But for the boss fight, it'll pretty much be beneficial to have. I'm gonna go ahead and let this drop down just a little bit, and then I'll just jump down. And this is probably like one of the few instances where the beams don't have those thunderbolts, so we just kind of run past them. This is graviton. So normally, we would have to push the buttons to make them red. For the graviton skip, you can actually skip this entire thing, and the way it works is you need to have Sonic hit a missile on the way, and while you're going inside the tunnel, you can actually hit the missile again, and it's going to give him some wonky physics, and he'll just have a lot of horizontal speed that he'll clip through the bumpers with the hitbox not being loaded. So this is pretty much Death Egg glitchless. And now we got probably the worst fight of the game. This is Red Eye. May not seem like very bad at first, but this part, however, 1, 2, 3, 4, ow, 5, 6, 7, and I almost had him perfect there. Get over here. There we go. All right, that's fine. Yeah, that is Death Egg 1. And we have one more level wrap to do. As you remember in Hydro City 2, we took an intentional death at the beginning of the level. We're going to be doing that same thing in this one. And conveniently, there are spikes for, pretty much for this purpose, I think. So we take that intentional death to unload Act 1 from Act 2. And then we're going to grab a lightning shield here. So we're going to be going for our last level rep while being upside down. Okay, so I'm going to pan the camera down here. There we go, clip inside the wall. I think that's a frame late, yep. Was a little late on that jump. We'll try it again. Take an intentional death here. I tried to get a 2-frame window for that jump, but I jumped just a frame late. Because what I want to happen is I want to see the rings lined up with the steel beam in the wall, so I can initiate the level wrap that way. You can try it again. Playing this level in general, it takes about like 3 minutes or so, I don't want to play through that. Oops. It's a pretty tough trick too, especially like towards the end of the run. Oh wow, I didn't clip inside the wall. Yeah, as long as we have our lightning shield, it should be fine. There we go. Okay. Oh, sometimes this can happen. You can just kind of move left and right a little bit until Sonic falls back down. Or just come out of the wall completely. That works too. I think that was a little too... This part's a little finicky. But it's a lot better. It's a lot better than playing the level in general, so I'm trying to do some pause buffering as well, just to kind of make sure I get the correct speed to clip inside the ground. There we go. I think I'm holding left too early there. Ah, then I lost this lightning shield. All right, I gotta do this again. You don't want to lose the lightning shield for this, because you need the lightning shield to do the double jump. And then be able to get the level wrap properly. Yeah, this is fine. Luckily, we're at the end of the game here, so... I didn't grab my lightning shield. I need that. There we go. Alright, let's try this again. Come on. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to spin dash there. There we go. This trick just does not want to happen. Fall down. There we go. There we go. That's better. All right, now we see the rings lined up in the steel beam. I'm just waiting for the camera to catch up. And then we will fight this boss here, which I like to call Uwu Ball. Don't make fun of his movies, he'll try to fight you. Yeah, this thing seems like it's saying Uwu every time, so that's why we call him Uwu Ball. So yeah, we just gotta spin dash into those spike cars just to send it right back at him, because he has a shield hovering around and it is locked onto Sonic. So we cannot physically hit him. We just send the cars that he sends down right back up. And just by doing it this way, it'll pretty much get a 1 cycle guaranteed. If you end up missing one of those, like the spin dash fails or something, this fight actually gets really treacherous. But luckily, we don't have to deal with that. Alright, so we got one more fight to go. It is 3 phases. Gonna do a spin dash at first to kind of make the screen shift a little bit. So at the end of this part here, those 3 blocks out there, there is no solid ground, so I can actually fall and die, but it is actually for a good reason why I set it up like that. And it's specifically for phase 2 of this fight, as well as phase 3. This is phase 1, this is the finger phase. We want to try to finish this off in like 3 or 4 cycles, but I think we're gonna get like 5 or this might be 4. Just barely missed. That was a 5 cycle, that's no problem. Now for this part, we're gonna open up the exposed area and then just do a spin dash. And that gets rid of phase 2. Now we got one more phase to go. Time is gonna be on fade out. Just gotta do one more fight here. Seven. And there we go. And that's
GG.
time. Ooh. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that run kind of went off the rails a little bit, but that's pretty much Sonic 3 and Knuckles in a nutshell. Yeah, hope you all enjoyed the run. My name is SuperSonic. You can follow me on SuperSonic_ on Twitch, and huge thank you to the NorthWest SpeedFest crew for having me on, and it's been a lot of fun being able to showcase my favorite game of all time as well as my favorite speedrun of all time. So yeah, that's it for me.
Well,
thanks for watching,
thanks
and
for
stay tuned for the next run.
During that run, I had a lot of fun watching it. That was Sonic 3 and Knuckles Beat the Game Glitched, run by SuperSonic. Coming up next, we'll have Kuro doing Sonic of the Secret Rings 80% in just a little bit. And then looking ahead a bit, Big Scared doing the Chant 80%. And Bablack with Worms Reloaded campaign mode, no level skips after that. This is day 2 of NorthWest SpeedFest.